Dr. Tony D. Collins is here to encourage, motivate, inspire, guide you into excellence. Your success matters. Your dreams matter. Sign up right now with Shepherd One Coaching and become a better you. Dr. Tony D. Collins is here to encourage, motivate, inspire, guide you into excellence. Your success matters. Your dreams matter. Sign up right now with Shepherd One Coaching and become a better you. Dr. Tony D. Collins is here to encourage, motivate, inspire, guide you into excellence. Your success matters. Your dreams matter. Sign up right now with Shepherd One Coaching and become a better you.
Well, good evening, everybody. On this wonderful Saturday evening, it's Sunday Eve, if you will. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that you've joined us once again. Jackie and Vera, Joyce, Dr. Pat, Angie, A.D. Proctor, Jackie, Cassandra, Deacon Ron has just popped in there this evening. Thank you all so much for joining us on this evening. Every evening I say that I'm going to give people time to get logged on. My time that I'm giving to get people logged on is the pre-streaming video that comes up. And because, I know some of you get right on from the time you get the notifications. And I don't want to keep you on any longer than I have to. Erica, good evening to you. Denise, thank you for joining us this evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Mocha Moments. Toya, good to see you tonight. For those of you that may be joining us for the very first time, just want to let you know what this Mocha Moments platform is really all about. Of course, I am your host, Dr. Tony D. Cobbins, and I am a life coach. I am a consultant. I'm a trainer. Many people know me as a pastor, preacher, teacher, all of that. But this platform is really all about my coaching and my encouraging people to become the best version of themselves. Vonda, thank you for checking in tonight. And I got to pause for the calls. Lady Ann just popped in. Of course, y'all know I always get excited when Lady Ann pops in. Some of you are maybe asking the question, well, who's Lady Ann? Well, it's my wonderful, lovely, darling wife, my partner in life, my ride or die. And I'm always excited and encouraged anytime she's on. Of course, now she's on with us every time I come on. So, that makes me feel really good to have her to join us each and every evening. She could feel like I'm right here with her all the time, and hey, she's always hearing me talk. We talk and have conversations all the time, but she's also interested in what I do with regards to my coaching, my pastoring, my ministering, and all of that. So I thank God for her. She just gave me the hard eyes, and right back to you, baby. I love you so much. Rochelle, good evening to you. Thanks for joining us tonight. Again, this is Sunday Eve, and I hope everybody is preparing for worship on tomorrow. And so therefore, I don't want to. It's not going to be my intentions to hold you very long, but you know how y'all do when y'all start making comments and the comments start getting good, I get a little bit more inspired myself. And sometimes it's kind of hard to let that thing go. Sometimes I feel like I might be disappointing you all when I cut it off or cut it just a bit short. But I hope you don't hold that against me, but I hope that'll keep you coming back. And one of these days, I'm just going to turn it loose and let you all just have your way with it. And whatever you guys are coming up with, that's what we're going to discuss for the night. All right. Tonight, I want to talk about choosing your friends very carefully. Choosing your friends very, very carefully. It's been my experience that we as a people often use the designation of friend very loosely, very sporadically. Now, understandably, everyone has their own definition of what a friend is. But it matters. It really matters how you choose your friends. It matters how you define what a friend is, because listen, you can put that designation on the wrong person, and it can do you more harm than good. I know for myself, there have been some people that I've designated as my friends, who I live to regret that I ever called them my friend. I think sometimes we do that trying to be nice or accommodating. Lenny and Antoinette, good evening to you. Thanks for throwing up that hashtag to every last one of you that did. But I have regretted placing that designation on some people, calling some people my friend. I know everyone wants to feel like that they have friends, and some of us want to feel like we have many friends. My life experience has been that having many friends is not as important as having true friends. And there's a great definition. Well, let me put it like this: designating many people as being your friend is not as important as finding that individual, that person who is definitely a true friend. Here's the reality: the reality is, some people are just acquaintances. You may have attended the same schools, or you may have grown up in the same neighborhood. You may know of them, but you really don't know them personally. You really don't have a true friendship. There's been no true bond that has been created between you and this other person that you are calling your friend, but they're really not your friend. They're more of an acquaintance. Some people are just associates. You may have had a working relationship with some people, or you may have had to interact with certain people frequently because of some of the places in which you do business or you go for recreation. I find that as I'm doing business, or I in certain places, when I'm frequenting certain recreational spaces, I tend to get acquainted with people, and even now develop an association with certain people. I can recall when I was going to the gym to work out frequently, there were a lot of people whom I would encounter who would walk up to me, and they knew me probably because of my public profile, likely because many of them would come up and address me as pastor. I didn't know who they were, but they were very friendly, and I would always be friendly and accommodating to them as well. And sometimes we would stand by one of the workout machines, especially when I was trying to get a break or a rest. And we would have conversations. I would have conversations with various people. Sometimes it was kind of difficult for me to get a workout in because I'd finish up a conversation with one person and someone else comes back by, and they're like, "Hey, pastor," and quite naturally, me being who I am, I try to be as accommodating to people as I possibly can, because you never know how you can impact an individual's life just by taking the time to talk with them. And sometimes people want to get some things off their chest, and if they respect you enough, if they think enough of you, they feel like that you can be a safe space for them, although you don't have a personal relationship with them. Your public profile has been respectable enough where they feel like that you are a person that they can feel comfortable talking to. Well, as many times as I've run into certain people, some people consistently, every time I'm at the gym or every time I'm in a certain place, I always see this particular person, and we have conversation. We have a common interest in that. We work out same space, or maybe we go to the same golf courses, and we see each other at the driving range and have conversation here and there. Those are just associates. And then sometimes we label people as friends just because we're very familiar with them. We know where they come from. We know their background. We know some of the same people. Some of the people that they know we may actually be friends with. They could be a friend of a friend. And I don't know why it is, but it seems as though that we tend to, by default, when those situations occur, we seem to, by default, embrace people and designate them as our friends. Just because of our acquaintanceships or our associations with certain individuals. Let me be perfectly clear. I truly feel that familiarity does not equate to friendship. just because a person is familiar with you or you're familiar with a person does not mean that a friendship has actually been established. It's not that you don't like the person. It's not that you couldn't possibly develop a friendship, but before um, that acquaintanceship or that association evolves into what can be legitimately designated as a friendship, I think we ought to pump the brakes at times before we just start labeling people as our friend just because we are familiar with that individual. T.R. Renee, thank you for joining us tonight. I'm going to throw your comment up here. True, all relationships and interactions don't mean friendship. That's absolutely the truth, and we've got to be aware of that, and that's okay. That's really okay. There have been times that I've come across people, and I've paused. I've had brief conversations with them, and after leaving them, my wife will ask me. She said, "Well, was that a friend of yours?" I said, "Well, they're an acquaintance. I know of them, and I'll go into detail what the connection is or how we are familiar with one another. Everyone that I went to school with was not necessarily my friend. I didn't designate them as my friends. I didn't have a lot of friends when I was coming through high school, but I was a very popular individual. How about that? Now, some of you might be thinking, well, how can you be popular and not have a whole lot of friends? Well, you don't have to have a whole lot of friends to be popular. You just have to have a name that people recognize and a character that most people appreciate. There were people that I believed liked me as an individual or as a person, but we never hung out with each other. We didn't spend any quality time with each other. We didn't share anything of a personal or intimate nature with each other. We didn't share secrets and all of that. When we would see each other, we would exchange pleasantries, and some of them we were so familiar with each other that, hey, we'll even dab each other up and give each other an embrace, but that doesn't mean that we are friends. We are two individuals that have wonderful working relationships. We are acquainted with one another, and we've been associated with some of the same things, but that does not define a friendship. I believe that the designation of friend should be reserved for people who has a special place in your life, people with whom you have a very special connection and relationships. Now, in my estimation, friendships are proven over time and through adversity. I think that's worth jotting down. Again, I'll say it again. Friendships are proven over time and through adversity. It's been said, or I've heard it said on several occasions, if you really want to know who your real friends are, who your true friends are, just get in trouble. Have a few problems and be in need of leaning on someone during a time of adversity. Wow. Marcus, thank you so much for that gift. Thank you for sowing that little seed. I appreciate that. Now, I know that to be Absolutely true. Because there was a time when I felt that some of my constituents, my contemporaries, were friends, quote unquote friends. And when I went through one of the worst times in my life, some of the people that I thought would be there for me and hang in there with me bailed out on me quick, fast, and in a hurry. That is the absolute truth. Erica, you said sometimes our supposed to be friends are our worst enemies. You know, as bad as that may sound, I have to agree with it, because I have been betrayed by a so-called close friend, and I really had close ties with this individual, very close ties. And when I was going through my worst times, I discovered that they were uh, contributing to some of my heartache, my agony, and my pain. Uh, Angela says, "Fooled around and found out." Yep, that's what happens sometimes. You allow yourself to be in certain relationships. You really don't know the individual as well as you think you do. You haven't put them through the litmus test. You go through a little adversity, and then you find out who they really are. Toya, you said this is right on times. Great. So I'm assuming that this discussion is resonating with you as we speak. That's what this is really all about. I always hope that the discussions that we have are relevant to the hearers, those that connect with us here on these Mocha Moments. And once again, let me say to those of you who have been consistent and faithful and hanging with us, I'm getting more and more encouraged each day to do this, if for no one else but those of you who are consistently faithful. So if you consistently hang with me, I'm going to hang with you. We are developing a connection here, a bond here, right here within this Mocha community that really I'm very, very much appreciative of. So again, as I stated a few moments ago, this is very, very important that you understand that. Friendships are proven over time and through adversities. Real friends, true friends, will hang with you and go through with you whatever you're going through. If you're facing adversity, they're going to be your friend through your time of adversity. They will not bail out on you. They will not go ghost on you. As awful as your situation may appear to be, and let me make that perfectly clear, may appear to be, because sometimes things aren't as bad as they seem or as bad as they look. And sometimes they are as bad as they seem or as bad as they look. But if you are a true friend to an individual, then regardless as to what adversity they find themselves going through, you'll be there for them. You'll hang there in there with them. A lot of you know, and I don't try to hide it. It's no secret. At one time, it was a citywide topic. But years ago, I happened to go through a divorce. I was pastoring at the time when I went through a divorce. And some of the people that were closest to me, some of the people that I had spent a great deal of my life being available to them, for them, helping them in whatever way I could, some of them with whom I had had lifelong relationship with, they bailed on me. And one of the reasons why they bailed on me is because of the rumors that were put out there about me. The things that were said about me that I can honestly tell you they are absolutely true. And the people who were spreading those rumors and lies, they know those things were not true, because some of the things that they said actually took place have never manifested to this very day. Never, never, never manifested to this very day. But let's just say, for the sake of the discussion, even if some of those things were true, would it have been right for those who say they are my friends, whom we have shared a bond, a connection, a relationship with for the better part of our lives? Would it have been right for them to bail on me at that time? Actually, after I went through my divorce, I was in need of friends, more so than ever before. Seemed like nobody wanted to talk to me. People avoided me. It got to the point where I really didn't like going out in public, even though my job, my position, my calling demanded that I stay in the public eye. I really, when I was going through that terrible time, I wanted to just leave Kansas City and never be heard from ever again, because of the beating that my reputation was taking at the time, and because of how many people had literally actually bailed out on me because of rumors and lies. And it hurt. But that's when I found out who my true friends really were. Those who hung with me, those who stuck with me, those who continued to love me in spite of what they were hearing, those who even now defended me. Listen, to this day, I'm still very close to those people. Those are people that I can actually call my friends. Those are people who I know love me dearly, and I love them as well. Those are the kind of friends that you need to have in your life. Toya said this happens from family and friends. Yeah, that kind of thing does happen with family and friends. Those two entities, family and friends, as it was stated earlier, they can wind up being your worst enemy. Real friends remain. People will show you who they really are in tough times. You are so right about that. That's exactly what I'm saying here. Thank God for Jesus. He never bailed out on you, and you still standing. Amen to that. What a friend we have in Jesus. Now, that's the best friend, Minister Bonda. Thank you so much. Dr. Pat, you said, thank you, Bishop Doctor. I'm sorry that you suffered and experienced such pain. Yeah, it was a painful process, but it was also a proving process. And it was also a preparing process, because despite how painful that process was for me, it helped to mature me. It helped my eyes to become open, and it caused me to gain some much needed wisdom with regards to dealing with and interacting with people. Does that make sense? T.R. Renee says they stick and stay. That's what friends do. They stick and stay. They stick and stay. Thank God for Jesus. He sticks close. Amen and amen. Y'all throwing up these amens now. Wow. That is so true. That he says, yes, he does. Yes, it does. Right. Praise God. Well, let me share with you what I believe the attributes of a real true friend are. I believe that a true friend is accessible. You can get to the individual. And not only are they accessible, but they are also available. Some people, while you can access them, they may not necessarily make themselves available to you. Because if I call you, if I access you, watch this, but then once I make contact with you, you don't make yourself available for me. You know, if I get you over the phone, I've accessed you. But if you don't have time to talk to me or to listen to me or to meet a need that I have, you're not available. A true friend will make themselves available. If they can't be available at that very moment, they will tell you or give you a time when they will be available for you. Not just they can be, but they will be available for you. True friends are faithful. Okay. You know that you can depend on them as a true friend. But watch this now. They're also loyal. Now, I know that sounds like the same thing, but it's really not. Some people are faithful, but they are not loyal. But then some people are loyal, but they're not faithful. I know I just confused some of you all. And so I know I'm probably going to have to break that down a little bit. A faithful person, they can show up whenever they may need to show up. But when the heat is on, they may not remain loyal to you. Let me give it to you from another perspective. Over my years of pastoring, I've had several people who have been in our congregation, who've been a part of our ministry, who have been very faithful. They have showed up to do the work of the ministry. But despite their faithfulness, they were not loyal to myself or the ministry. They were showing up to do the work, but then I would find out that they would talk about me, oppose the vision that I cast, join in with my naysayers and haters. And actually what they were trying to do was work both sides of the fence. They would do the work, whatever work of the ministry that had to be done. They were faithful in doing the work, but they weren't loyal. They weren't loyal. And there is a difference. If you're doing the work, but then you're destroying or tearing down the accomplishments by your negative words, even though you're still right there in the thick of it, that's a prime example of a person being faithful, but not loyal. A true friend is faithful. A true friend is loyal. They will hang tough. They will remain true, even while going through adversity. A true friend is caring. They truly care about you as a person, you as an individual. They care about the relationship. They are caring and they are consistent. You know, one of the things that I hate most with regards to trying to maintain a relationship with a person is a person who is inconsistent. I hate inconsistency. I hate it when I don't know what I'm going to get from you from one day to the next. I really, really, really hate that. Um, and this is just me, and you all can tell me what you think and how you feel about this. But for me, the person that's inconsistent in relationship and just all over the place, and you never know what you're going to get, I feel that those kind of people only want a friendship or a relationship only on their terms, and then they are very manipulative in their engagement of the relationship. Well, if you don't do what I want you to do, then I'm going to pull back, or I'm not going to talk to you, or I'm going to have an attitude with you, or I'm not going to speak to you. But then when they feel like they need you, now all of a sudden, you're the most wonderful thing since sliced bread. Lenny says true friends won't let others dishonor or disrespect you. Man, I think I almost want to just leave that up there for a while. But then Toya comes behind and says, right, I can't stand when they are consistently inconsistent. Let me go back to this other one. Look. True friends won't let others dishonor or disrespect you. True friends will speak up on your behalf, even if they are having to defend you to another friend. That brings up another thing, what brings to mind from this statement, it comes to my mind from this statement is that true friends are forthright. They can tell you the absolute truth. They can be firm with you, tell you the truth, despite the fact they know it may hurt your feelings. But because they care about you, because they love you, they're going to be just straight up forthright with you. They will tell you what you need to hear. They'll tell you exactly, not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. I think I've shared this example a time or two. Many of you know that Pastor Jesse Kearney, New Mercies Christian Church in Lilburn, Georgia, not just he's beyond a friend for me. He is a true brother, but our brotherhood was established on our friendship. And one thing that the two of us do, we give each other the freedom to be very forthright with one another, to tell each other exactly what we need to hear, not necessarily what we want to hear, but exactly what we need to hear without us getting an attitude with each other. I think I shared not long ago about how there was a time where I was having this little issue. I was upset about something, and I was really in my feelings. I was. And my attitude and what I said I would and would not do, he chuckled. He just laughed. He said, you know you're wrong for that, right? And I said, yep, but you need to let me be wrong for right now because I don't feel like being right. And we had the biggest laugh over that. I knew he was very serious with what he said to me, but we could laugh about it because I knew what place what he was saying was coming from. I knew it. And I didn't get offended about it. And what he said, he was absolutely right. But I told him, I said, I want to have my moment. I want to have my attitude right now. So you just let me be wrong for and we laugh for a while about this thing. And at the end of the laugh, he said, "Boy, you know you crazy, right?" And I said, "Yep." And we started laughing again. That's what a true friend will do for me. He wasn't going to let me off the hook. He wasn't going to tell me, "Yeah, man, I feel you, and I don't blame you. I do the same thing." Yada 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 yada. Now, he affirmed what I was feeling. He said, "I know why you feel that way, but your response to what you're feeling would not be the right response if you choose to continue to act like this, think like this, and be determined to carry out what you say you're going to do. That wouldn't be right." And he would not let me off the hook. That's my brother. That's my friend. That's someone I greatly appreciate. Let's see. Toya, you said, and telling you the harsh truth. They aren't mean or have intentions to hurt you. Yeah, that's right. A true friend, when they tell you the harsh truth, they're not trying to hurt you. A true friend only wants what's best for you. They're looking out for you. Some people are looking for you to be wrong and throw it in your face to hurt you. Yep, absolutely. When you have a friend or a so-called friend that has a hidden agenda all the time, they've got this borderline jealousy thing working within themselves. They're jealous of you for whatever reason. Um, you know, then you might discover that they're really not your friend, although you've had a long-term relationship with that individual. Joyce says, right, a true friend don't condone your wrong. That's absolutely right. Never. It does not help you when a person condones your wrong. So I thank God for the true friends in my life. True friends are honest. True friends are understanding. True friends are unselfish. That's another thing. It's hard to be in a relationship with people who think that everything is about them and give no consideration to the other individual or individuals involved in a relationship, a circle of friends. And man, you really have to watch that circle of friend things too. And I only say that because it's crazy, but people will tend to trip on the friendships that you have or maintain with other people within your circle of friends. It's a red flag when you're in the midst of a circle of friends and you got one individual saying, "Well, you like her more than you like me." Really? With your grown self? With your overgrown self? You're tripping like that? You like them more than you like me. Denise, I have to agree with you there. Keep your circle small. There's nothing wrong with that. I think even now Jesus ascribed to that kind of principle. Watch this. Yes, Jesus had 12 disciples, right? But when you read the scriptures and really study the ministry of Jesus, he had a tighter circle than the 12, a closer circle than the 12. There were 3 disciples in particular that were always mentioned being with Jesus, especially through his most difficult time. Peter, James, and John. Peter, James, and John. That was the most inner circle with Jesus. It wasn't that he didn't love all of them, but you have your circle of friends, and then you have your inner circle of friends. And sometimes that has to, it gets smaller and smaller. But then the smaller the circle, uh, the more shored up your support will be during your times of adversity. When you're really going through with something or going through something, uh, some time of adversity, when you have a really close knit small circle of friends, you don't have to spend a whole lot of time looking for support. The moment you contact one, you access one, and that one makes themselves to you, I guarantee you, if the circle is tight enough, if the friendship and relationships are meaningful enough, that one will connect with the other two or three, and they will, in response, come together all together and provide whatever support you need. Yeah, you need that close-knit circle. Again, true friends are unselfish. And lastly, true friends are giving. I'm not talking about stuff. They give of themselves. They give of themselves. True friends will give of themselves. There are some people whom I have designated and know to be true friends that when they ring my phone, I'm going to answer. I'm not going to dodge them. I'm not going to duck them. Now, typically, I answer most all of my calls. But if these true friends call in the middle of the night, oh, I'm going to jump up if I hear my phone, if it's not silent or whatever, or if they call me and I'm in the middle of something. And I know that most of the time when they call at certain times, it's because they really want something urgent is taking place. I'll take a minute to step away from whatever I'm doing to see if my true friend has a need, just like I do my family. It's what I do. Those who talk about others within the friend group suffer from insecurity. Very well said. That is very well said. You know, for me, I have discovered that as long as I am who I am, if I just be myself, I don't have time or energy to be worrying about what's going on with somebody else. I never base my friendship or the validity or the value of my friendship with an individual with how they treat someone else in their circle. You know, only thing I focus on is the relationship, the connection, the interaction, the engagement between the other individual and myself. It has nothing to do with anybody else. How's our connection? Let me get this one last comment, and then I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for tonight. True friends keep encouraging you to do the right things, not the wrong things, right? That's right. Sometimes it hurts us. It does. But many times, if you take it for what it truly is, especially when it's done in the right spirit and for the right reason, it won't hurt you, but it'll only help you. Again, I encourage you, just this little kernel of wisdom, choose your friends very wisely. Choose your friends very carefully. A friend, a true friend, is built for adversity. And the scripture says there is a friend who sticks closer than even our brother. When you choose your friends very carefully and wisely, you are investing in your own well-being. Well, that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you all again for joining us. If this has been a blessing to you, don't forget to share this link with someone else. Um, Let them know you need to go in and listen to this discussion. You need to go in and embrace the wisdom that's shared. Now, I don't know about you sending this to a friend with whom you are at odds right now, because they might not take it the right way. But maybe you need to find somebody who can send it to them. Now, you might say, well, you just said that sometimes you have to tell people the truth. There are mitigating circumstances wherein you have to tell them the truth, but you got to use tact with doing it. You got to be strategic about it, because some people, when they know the subject matter from the very beginning, they'll turn you off right from the start. How about that? All right. Well, y'all, I encourage you all to be in worship on tomorrow morning. For those of you that may be traveling still and you popped in for tonight's Mocha Moments, if you're traveling, I pray that you have safe travels, that you enjoy yourself wherever you are, but that you be careful in your travels and even now in your Memorial Day observations, that you be very, very careful. Again, as I often say to you all, I'm going to sign off with these wonderful words. God bless and good night.